Everybody, let's speak about a pharmacological concept which is called volume of distribution, VD. It means the total amount of fluid that a drug will be distributed to. It's a theoretical concept, so the numbers are not real volumes, they are theoretical, and we will explain why that is. So when I give a drug, for example 100 units, let's say I give it IV so that I have 100%. Why I give it IV? Because I want to have 100% bioavailability. So at the beginning, this drug will be distributed to the intravascular fluids, and then depending upon its characteristic, we will see it may reach the extracellular fluids, which is intravascular fluids, and also including interstitial fluid and extracellular fluids. It may reach into the intracellular fluids also, depending upon its characteristic. And in certain drugs, we will see that maybe 1% of it will stay in the plasma, and 99% will escape into the intracellular fluid, into the fat tissue. So that's the reason why we have very large number for the VD. For example, there's a drug that has a VD of 13,000 liter. There's no human who has 13,000 liter of water in his body. So the reason for this very large number is that this drug, I gave it to the patient. It was in the plasma first, then 99% of it escaped to the other tissue body, mainly the fat. So because now it has very high concentration in the fats, the concentration is high, and low concentration in the plasma, this will give me the illusion of distributing to 13,000 liters of fluid. So what's the importance of VD? How we determine it? VD is important because the effect of a drug is excreted in plasma. I want the drug to reach the wanted dose in plasma. So let's say that I want my drug to be at concentration of 10 units per liter, and I know that this drug volume of distribution is 100 liter. So since I want it to end up as 10 units per liter, and I know that the dose I will give will be distributed into 100 liter, virtually 100 liter, I will give him 10 by 100. I need to give him 1000, excuse me, not liter, I need to give him 1000 units, because I need to get the concentration in plasma right, and I know a lot of this drug will escape out from the plasma, so I need to take that in my measure. This is regarding the loading dose, not the maintenance. I think the loading dose, I will review that. The main reason for establishing this channel is to improve my studying by learning. So you know there is something called pyramid of memory maintenance, and at the top of it is to teach someone. And since I don't have access to real classes, I will share this video with my own virtual class online. So what determine certain substance volume of distribution? Let's say I have this drug that binds to protein, to plasma protein. What's the main plasma protein? It is albumin. It's like the public transportation unit in the blood. It's like the public bus, school bus of the blood. It carries everything. It carries certain hormones. It carries certain drugs. It carries even certain chemicals like bilirubin. So it's the public transportation unit of the body. So if the drug that was given and it does not cross the blood barrier, does not cross out of the blood vessel. So if a drug that was given was large molecule or a molecule that bind to albumin, it will not cross the blood vessel barrier, so it will be contained in the intravascular fluid, the plasma, which is the smallest compartment of our fluids. It will have very low volume of distribution. If that molecule was smaller but hydrophilic, it will cross the... Why does it need to be hydrophilic? If a drug, what's the difference between hydrophilic and lipophilic? A chemical component that's hydrophilic usually has some sort of charge, and water is also charged. H2O, the electron hangouts, there is a shared electron, and that electron hangouts more at one of the side. I don't remember the O or the H. This side is partially polar. I don't know positive or negative, don't remember that from chemistry, but we have sort of ion. We have ion bound, it's called the hydrogen bond. So a component that is hydrophilic is a component that is charged, that has a cation or anion that has a charge. When we have charge, we can bind to the water in the blood directly. We don't need albumin. But if the component is lipophilic, so there is no charge here. All of this component does not contain charge. So do you see, when we add oil to water, we will have a layer of oil. So a component that is lipophilic, when we add it to the blood, it will float alone in a sphere, and that's very bad. We don't need that in our blood. That may cause emboli, that will not be distributed well. So we have albumin. So God created albumin for us. So albumin carry our molecule. So albumin will carry it if it was hydrophilic. So it need to be, if it was lipophilic, albumin will carry it. So it need to be hydrophilic to cross the cell membrane, to cross the blood vessel membrane, I mean, not the cell membrane. You need to be lipophilic to cross the cell membrane. I will repeat it because I missaid that. You need to be hydrophilic, so you don't get to be carried by the albumin. You need to be lipophilic to cross the cell membrane. So a component that is small, hydrophilic, will pass through the cell, the blood vessel membrane, and it will end up in the extracellular fluids, which is larger than the intravascular fluids. Certain components are lipophilic but small, so the albumin molecule will carry it. Albumin molecule will get close to the fat tissue, and it will jump from albumin into the fat tissue. It will jump from albumin into the intracellular fluid, and they are small. I don't totally understand that, to be honest, but they are not like their large lipophilic brother that bound to the albumin. So they can jump. Maybe they don't need albumin to transport. I don't fully understand that, to be honest, but small lipophilic substance has the largest volume of distribution because it has high affinity for fat. So this is a plasma and this is fat. Plasma will deliver it to fat, it will stock in the fats, it will not return to plasma. So it will be stored in the fat. So for example, we have 1 liter of plasma, and this is the equivalent of size equivalent of 1 liter of fat. Maybe we will have here 5 units, and here only 1 unit. giving us the illusion of having 6 liters. This is only 2 liters. As a size, this is only 2 liters. But since the 5 liters of fat contain 5 units, by the way, this is my own understanding for the whole situation. I'm a medical student, I'm not pharmacology student. So I did not read this anywhere. I am not 100% sure what I'm speaking is scientifically accurate, but I believe when you're studying a subject, you need to make things make sense, not in the true realistic way, but in a way that will help you memorize that concept later on. So don't take my word for that. I am explaining this so I can remember that and share my ideas. So we don't have real 6 liters, as we don't have for sure real 13,000 liter for that drug, chloroquine, I think, not sure. But since the drug is distributed here 5 times concentration in the plasma, that gives us the illusion of having 5 times the size of a plasma. So let's review everything. We give a drug. That drug was albumin binding, binds to the blood plasma component. It will be contained with the intravascular fluid, having a small volume of distribution. Small VD. That drug was hydrophilic. It will cross the blood barrier into the extracellular fluid, having medium volume of distribution. If that drug was small lipophilic, it will cross the cell membrane, entering into the fats, entering into the intracellular fluid, accumulating in this component, giving us high volume of distribution.